Highlights of decisions at the Federal Executive Council meeting held on Monday, the 23rd of September 2024, relating to taxation and fiscal policy. The Federal Executive Council (FEC) convened on Monday, the 23rd of September 2024, to deliberate on critical matters concerning Nigeria's taxation and fiscal policy framework. The meeting, chaired by President Bola Tinubu, resulted in several key decisions aimed at stimulating economic growth, enhancing infrastructure development, and providing much-needed relief to businesses and individuals. Below are the highlights of the decisions made. 1. Approval of the Economic Stabilisation Bills. The Council approved a series of Economic Stabilisation Bills, which reflect the recommendations put forth by the Presidential Committee on Tax and Fiscal Policy Reforms, established by President Tinubu in 2023. These bills aim to address various challenges within the Nigerian economy, specifically focusing on amendments to income tax laws. The bills propose reforms to existing income tax regulations to create a more efficient and equitable taxation framework. Promotion of export-oriented goods and services. In an effort to boost Nigeria's export potential, the bills include provisions to incentivize the export of goods and services, positioning Nigeria as a competitive player in the global market. Exchange rate reforms. A significant aspect of the bills is the reform of Nigeria's exchange rate regime. The objective is to unlock foreign exchange liquidity, which has been a critical issue for businesses operating in import-dependent sectors. Tax relief for employment generation. One of the bills provides tax incentives to companies that create incremental employment opportunities. This is part of a broader strategy to reduce unemployment and foster economic inclusion. Personal income tax relief. The Council also approved increased personal income tax relief for both public and private sector employees, raising the relief threshold from 200,000 nairas to 400,000 nairas, a move aimed at providing financial relief to individuals, especially in light of rising inflation and cost of living pressures. 2. Collaboration between federal and state governments on tax suspension for small businesses in a significant move to support small businesses and vulnerable populations. Another bill endorsed by the Council proposes a federal and state collaboration to temporarily suspend certain taxes. This initiative is designed to reduce the tax burden on small enterprises and those operating in economically disadvantaged areas. Among the taxes to be suspended are road haulage levies, business premise registration levies, livestock levies, market taxes, and levies. The suspension of these taxes is intended to provide immediate relief to small business owners, particularly those grappling with the current economic challenges. This measure reflects the government's commitment to fostering a more conducive environment for small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, which are vital to the country's economic recovery and growth. 3. Transmission of Economic Stabilisation Bills to the National Assembly. Following the Council's approval, the Economic Stabilisation Bills will now be transmitted to the National Assembly for legislative action. These reforms are expected to modernize the tax system, increase foreign investment, and stimulate domestic economic activities. 4. Road infrastructure development. Key contracts approved. The Federal Executive Council also approved several critical infrastructure projects under the federal government Road Infrastructure Development and Refurbishment Investment Tax Credit Scheme, which is designed to leverage private sector investments in the country's infrastructure. The key projects approved include dualization of Afikpo-Uturu-Okigwe Road. This contract, spanning across Ebonyi, Abia, and Imo states, aims to dualize the Afikpo-Uturu-Okigwe Road, a major artery that facilitates trade and movement within the region. The project will be funded through the federal government's Road Infrastructure Development Tax Credit Scheme, encouraging private sector participation in infrastructure projects. Construction of service lanes for Lekki Deep Sea Port. A contract worth 158 billion nairas was awarded for the construction of service lanes to connect the Lekki Deep Sea Port to the Shagamu-Benin Expressway via Ipe. The contract, awarded to Dangote Industries, will also be financed under the Road Infrastructure Development Fund and Refurbishment Investment Tax Credit Scheme, showcasing the government's commitment to enhancing trade logistics and facilitating the efficient movement of goods. 5. Implications and impact. The decisions made during this FEC meeting have far-reaching implications for Nigeria's fiscal and economic landscape, business environment. The reforms proposed in the Economic Stabilisation Bills will likely ease the tax burden on businesses, particularly SMEs, and promote employment generation. The suspension of certain levies will provide immediate relief to small businesses, encouraging entrepreneurship and economic participation. Export growth and foreign exchange. The promotion of exports and the reform of the exchange rate regime are critical to addressing Nigeria's foreign exchange challenges. These measures are expected to boost the country's export earnings and improve foreign exchange liquidity, contributing to overall economic stability. Infrastructure development. The approval of key infrastructure contracts under the tax credit scheme demonstrates the government's reliance on private sector participation to bridge the infrastructure deficit. Projects such as the dualization of major roads and the development of service lanes for the Lekki Deep Sea Port are essential for improving logistics, reducing transportation costs, and enhancing Nigeria's trade competitiveness. The Federal Executive Council's decisions reflect a strategic approach to addressing Nigeria's pressing economic challenges through fiscal policy reforms, infrastructure development, and private sector collaboration. The transmission of the Economic Stabilisation Bills to the National Assembly marks a critical step toward achieving these goals, while the approved infrastructure projects highlight the government's focus on sustainable development.